Hi, hey again, Justin. So I'm Carl Gordon, and I lead government and strategic growth initiatives for Mastercard for the English Caribbean region.
Thanks for joining Breaking Travel News here at the Caribbean Travel Forum, Carl. You've just stepped off a panel earlier in the forum. Tell us a little bit about what you were talking about.
Yeah, so essentially we were just showcasing our global travel trends report. It came out incidentally last week, just in time for the CHTA forum this year. And essentially we were looking at, travel trends, new horizons, and insights. What are driving travelers' changing preferences? What is changing their demands, right? So we dived through first at a very global level all of the geopolitical shifts that are happening, right? So we know there's a global tariff situation, right? And obviously, if the tariffs themselves are not an inhibiting factor for travel, then definitely the effects of those tariffs and the contracting of economies, the drop of stock prices, people's 401ks, they're looking at what are my options for where I spend my scarce dollar that is shrinking, other than going to lay on a beach somewhere. And that's the reality that we have to contend with. So we're seeing at a very high level some shifts in what would usually be the typical travel pattern. So for instance, this summer, it seems to be the case that across North America, both the US and Canada, there is some movement towards high travel volumes going to the Asia Pacific region, right? Tokyo, Osaka, Singapore, even Malaysia. So we're identifying these nuggets and we're bringing those insights to the audience at CHDA because that's what we do.
And what does that mean for the Caribbean?
Yeah, so for the Caribbean, it's important to know how we stack up within the global picture, right? Anything that changes travel patterns is essential for us to be aware of because so much of the Caribbean economic performance is tied to tourism. All right, most of our economies, the main foreign exchange earner and therefore economic driver is the amount of tourists that you can attract to your market. And if they're going elsewhere, or if they are chasing new preferences, or if they're developing new tastes, right? If there are new priorities in their minds, then obviously from a strategic and planning point of view, it's important for not just the private sector, but also for the ministries and authorities and the government departments and agencies that are involved in tourism to be aware so that they can manage their tourism product and development accordingly.
And if you were to kind of have one takeaway from the Caribbean Travel Forum, what would it be?
Oh, definitely. Travel is still thriving and alive in the Caribbean. Coming out of our travel report, there were some very relevant highlights for the Caribbean markets, such as the beach is back. Like who knew that the beach even went away, right? But the data suggests that in recent years there has been a shift to big cities and exploring cultural hotspots globally. So Athens, Greece, Paris, the New Yorks. But there has been a sort of turn towards, hey, let's not forget about the sea, sand, and sun and getting a suntan to go back to work after my vacation, right? Or your typical norm for vacations. So that's one thing. Another cool element that we also uncovered within the travel report is the extent to which people traveling for business, like we are right now, are staying longer in the markets where they go, probably by a day or two. So one of the suggestions to the markets in the Caribbean was, hey, how do you make staying that day or two more attractive to these type of business travelers? Do you, for instance, curate a 1 or 2 day blitz tour where you've pre-organized and pre-arranged and pre-researched all the things that would be potentially attractive to this market segment, and just offer it to them, complete with a tour guide, complete with transport operator, etc., so that they don't have to do all that hard work. They're already busy working, right? So every incremental additional spend in the market counts towards the growth of the economy, and to the extent that you can build more value for those people who are coming into your market, only benefits everybody.
Carl, thank you for your time today.
No worries. Always a pleasure, Justin.